first round. But, you know, he gets in there and like to play around a little bit. I'll get on him sometime about playing around like that.
And then in that third round, it seemed like Xander had a lot of success. Hey, I don't know if...
Y'all better look at the tapes again. Y'all talking a lot of success. You anybody go 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Did your instructions change after...
No, nothing changed. I wanted the boots to go to the body more, you know what I mean, and use the jab more. But he was setting a lot of shots up, too. You see the shots he was hitting with, you know what I mean? And I was telling him not to stay there, because every time you stay there, you hit him with a good shot. Xander grabs him. He holds him. You don't see Boots doing the holding. You see he can outbox him, too. You saw what he was doing. When he was jabbing, how many jabs he was hitting with? You know what I mean? He can do that, but he loves to fight. That's why these people come to see, man. He put on the show.
Pound beat down for the Boots Ennis. What heart shown by both men, but what pound for pound skill.
As the final bell rang throughout the arena, it was immediately clear that this was not a fight anyone could score with absolute certainty. From the very first round until the final moments, both fighters continued creating new problems that required quick answers inside the ring. Instead of one man dominating the action from start to finish, the bout developed into a relentless 12-round contest defined by constant adjustments, sharp strategy, and unwavering determination.
A machine. Zayas, a little inexperienced, but you will be back. You're a great fighter. Let's make the biggest fight in boxing today. Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis. Let's go.
There ain't nothing to think. It's a knockout.
No, but I'm saying, like, just of the fight, because it seemed like...
Whatever I say,
It's not that. He's just he wasn't ready, man.
Whatever I say is not gonna benefit.
Yeah, exactly. He should have.
Congrats. Let's see him unified. Well, he's unified now. Let's see him become undisputed.
Yeah.
Good job.
Are you proud of the way Xander performed?
No, I give
Definitely.
him props.
Heart of a
He was like a lion
champion.
of heart.
He
Yeah.
showed, and his team was. They made the decision. That's it.
What'd you think about Boots' performance? I mean, he overcame some kind of hard spots there.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Get up from the knockdowns. It seemed like he had Boots hurt like in the third, fourth there. I mean, did you think maybe...
I was surprised that they let the fight go that long, you know, because I was really concerned about him getting hurt like that. But that's boxing, you know. Their corner decided to let him out. Thank God, I hope he's okay. And you know, there was times there that he could have turned it around. But, I mean, tonight it was...
Jaron Ennis entered the fight displaying the exact style fans had anticipated. He repeatedly switched stances, fired off explosive combinations, and kept an unrelenting pace that forced Xander Zayas to stay alert and respond at every moment. His exceptional speed and unpredictable movement made every exchange a dangerous test, giving his opponent virtually no time to hesitate inside the ring.
He's a good fighter. I like Xander. Xander one of my guys that I like, man. That's why you see me hugging him. He's one of them top guys, man, to me. He's a good fighter, man. But I know he couldn't do nothing with Boots.
Do you think that now he can take the team to another level?
Man, I told you when y'all ain't see the best of him yet. They gotta bring it out of my son. You know what I mean? You see when he bring it out, he get nasty. He likes to knock everybody out, but I tell him relax. Gotta relax, take your time, man. You know what I mean? But he get excited, man.
It's not really about when you throw, you're gonna get hit. You know, he loves fighting. He's a fighter at heart. Like I said, with age, the older you get, the smarter you get, the more wiser you get. Then you realize, like, I take less risk and I become more of a boxer. He has that ability. But now he's young and he's in his prime. He's a dog. He likes fighting.
What stood out to me the most, however, was Xander Zayas' composure under pressure. Rather than letting Boots dictate the tempo, he remained patient and disrupted the rhythm whenever the right opportunities presented themselves. He used his jab with excellent precision and consistently made subtle positional adjustments throughout the fight, preventing Ennis from ever fully taking command. Those small tactical decisions transformed the matchup into something much more compelling than a straightforward battle of styles.
With Xander, brother, he put up a tremendous
Yeah, I'm so proud of him, man. He showed a lot of grit, heart of a champion. But I think the main thing that I loved about Xander is that he literally got the experience. He's got it down packed. When he got hurt, he was bouncing and jumping around, like moving his legs, waking him up. You know, but hey, it happens.
He showed tremendous heart, right? He kept getting up over and over. It was even stopped by the corner. It wasn't even him.
Yeah, he surprised me.
Yeah, no, but hey, you know what? That's boxing for you, but he shows that he's...
Every time Boots looked ready to separate himself with his athleticism and inventive offense, Xander Zayas answered with well-timed counters and disciplined boxing fundamentals. His patience and impressive ring IQ reminded everyone why he is widely viewed as one of the sport's most promising young stars. Just when it seemed the momentum had shifted decisively in one fighter's favor, the tide would quickly turn again, leaving fans uncertain about who was truly in control.
Performance, you know, I mean,
I thought he did great. But, you know, he still has some. How you doing? I see you, bro. Yes, sir. I thought he did great. He did good. But, you know, when you got 2 belts and you're 23, you can't really take a step back. You know? That's what comes with it. You got. There's no turning back. There's no turning back.
As the fight wore on, Ennis started putting greater emphasis on body attacks, delivering punches from creative angles that very few fighters can generate. Zayas responded by planting his feet with growing confidence, making every exchange appear calculated instead of driven by emotion. What was most impressive was that neither man strayed from the approach that had carried him to this level. Boots stayed offensively aggressive while remaining composed, and Zayas continued to box with discipline without becoming overly cautious. Preserving that balance against an elite opponent is an enormous challenge, yet both fighters accomplished it throughout these hard-fought exchanges.
So he did what he had to do.
talk about the heart of Xander. I mean, he kept getting up. Even the fight was stopped by his corner. It wasn't even like he, stayed down. He just kind of nodded, seeing his corner finished.
Look, when you're a young fighter, you're gonna go out and use shield. That's why people want to see young fighters fight, because that's the type of fight you're gonna get. They don't want to see older fighters who just have some money. They want to see that. They want to see somebody.
As the contest progressed, the intensity continued to build, making each passing round even tougher than the one before. By the time the championship rounds began, the atmosphere inside the arena had reached its peak. Every clean shot sparked a huge reaction from the crowd because either fighter had the ability to claim a round with one decisive combination. At that point, the fight was no longer simply about offense versus defense or pressure against technique. One boxer confirmed that his explosive approach deserves a place among boxing's elite, while the other proved his composure could withstand even the most frantic exchanges. Not every memorable fight requires a spectacular knockout. Sometimes two world-class fighters bring out the absolute best in each other, and that is exactly what happened on this unforgettable night.
No, I mean, he's supposed to bring out the best. You know what I mean? You know? But Pandora, I like Pandora. What other name? Pandora? I like to fight him. I think Ortiz. That'll be a good fight, Ortiz.
So Terrence Crawford, he was tweeting something after the fight, being coy, like not commenting on it, but seeming to just throw his version of some shade. I mean, what's your thoughts on?
I don't care what nobody say, man. I don't care. That don't bother me. Just like when y'all talk, I don't care what y'all say.
Not even me?
I don't care what none of y'all say, because I speak the truth. You know what I mean? You know, you don't see us cussing and calling people out. Some of them don't know this, don't know that. We don't do that.
Bozy Ennis stood at ringside with the same calm expression he had maintained throughout fight week. Once the action had ended, however, it was obvious he had witnessed the kind of battle he had anticipated from the very start. He praised Xander Zayas without hesitation, calling him a true champion who accepted the challenge and never appeared overwhelmed by the moment. According to Bozy, the discussion had gone far beyond pre-fight hype, media headlines, and social media arguments. In his view, this was exactly what championship-level boxing is supposed to look like. When asked if fans had finally seen the best version of Boots, Bozy responded with a confident smile. He reminded everyone that he had said before the fight there were still higher levels for Boots to reach, and he believed this performance confirmed exactly what he meant. In his opinion, the difference was not made by one spectacular exchange or a single highlight reel moment.
Right. Well, Boots is no Rashidi, like I told him. I knew Boots was going to stop him. He could have stopped him earlier, too. He could have stopped him early, but he ended up having fun again, you know what I mean? Oh, that's not, we don't do that all the time.
Did you expect it to be so one-sided, though, man? Okay.
Yeah. No, I did. The reason why I'm saying that, because he's coming at us. He's one of them guys that he got to be set to throw punches.
Instead, Bozy believed the true difference came from staying composed as the fight continued to shift from one round to the next. He praised both fighters for never losing their composure under pressure, explaining that this is what separates real champions from gifted contenders. He also dismissed the idea that physical size alone would decide the result, reminding reporters that boxing has always been defined by timing, adjustments, ring IQ, and making the right choices while everything unfolds at top speed. Looking ahead, Bozy showed little desire to talk about future opponents or mention potential matchups. Instead, he stressed that nights like this are exactly why fighters dedicate themselves to the sport all year long. Greatness is never achieved through words alone. It is earned by accepting difficult challenges and proving yourself on boxing's biggest stage. Before leaving, he thanked the fans for making the evening so memorable and reminded everyone that this journey is only just beginning.
Hemo was strong. I thought he was going to, you know what I mean? His power was still there.
Hey, what did you think of his heart? He definitely has some energy.
Man, he's one of the best, right? One of the best that Boots is for, to me. Okay. Even though he couldn't hardly do too much with Boots, but he was there. And he was putting that pressure on him. And he was trying to fight. He wasn't like the one we fought last time that ran.
Okay,
yeah, you see what I'm saying?
That was the moment Eddie Hearn turned the conversation away from what happened inside the ring and toward the future of the division as a whole. While Bozy Ennis spoke about preparation, discipline, and earning respect through competition, Eddie focused on the unforgettable experience boxing fans had just witnessed. He said the fight was a perfect example of why the sport's biggest matchups need to keep happening. He praised both fighters for producing exactly the type of battle fans had been waiting for. He also mentioned that the atmosphere inside the Barclays Center was something spectators would remember for years to come. Smiling as he reflected on some of his own bold pre-fight predictions, Hearn admitted that championship boxing has a remarkable ability to surprise even the most confident promoters.
But you need to put performances in on a stage like that, in fights like that, for me to be able to stand in the ring and say, I f***ing told you, this kid is the one. He's 27 years old. Now, you talk about these other fighters, the great fighters like, I don't know, Crawford. What's Crawford? 36, right? Who is amazing. Boots, Crawford, best fight in the sport. Unbelievable. But this kid's got so many gears and levels.
He went on to explain that this fight was never defined by one spectacular moment. What made it so unforgettable was how quickly the momentum shifted back and forth throughout the contest. Whenever it looked like one fighter had finally solved the puzzle, the other answered with another adjustment that completely altered the flow of the fight. In his view, that is the true essence of elite-level boxing. Looking ahead, he predicted that the junior middleweight division has now become one of the most compelling weight classes in the sport, with every champion, contender, and promoter watching closely. Eddie believes a single extraordinary night can transform an entire division, and he is convinced this fight did exactly that. No matter what comes next, he made one message absolutely clear. Boxing needs more nights like this and far fewer excuses.
It was getting better and better and better and more spiteful and more spiteful. Shout out to Marvin, the trainer, because you save a fighter from a horrific beating. And he was taking a beating anyway, but like, what's the point? His nose is busted, he's about to get knocked spark out, and it's like, the fight's over. And it's like, it's such a disheartening beating. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you can't have any joy. You land one and you think, and then all of a sudden you got hit by about 8 and he's over there. You know, he's...
Eddie Hearn evaluated the fight from the viewpoint of a promoter, while Shakur Stevenson broke it down through the mindset of a true boxing technician. He wasn't concerned with promotional business, rankings, or what the outcome meant for the division. Instead, he focused entirely on the subtle details that unfolded inside the ring. According to Shakur, this matchup was a perfect example of why boxing is called the sweet science. Every round evolved into a contest of adjustments instead of pure emotion. He was also impressed that neither fighter abandoned the style that had brought them to this level, despite the constant pressure. Shakur explained that many boxers lose their discipline when emotions take over, causing them to chase highlight reel moments. That never happened in this fight. Even during the most intense exchanges, every punch had a purpose and every decision was made with clear intent.
I thought he said something about watching Gotti versus Floyd in the same arena, and that was the kind of Gotti-like Floyd performance that I came here to see. I thought that was Boots at his best. He was having fun, he was sharp. People complain about him getting hit, but the only punch I really seen him get hit with was the jab tonight. So truthfully, I thought his defense was really good.
Shakur admitted that several moments in the fight genuinely caught his attention because both fighters showcased exceptional timing, lightning-fast reactions, and incredible composure under constant pressure. He even joked that viewers relaxing at home probably thought they knew exactly what each boxer should have done until they saw how unbelievably fast everything happened once the exchanges began. That was why he refused to judge the fight based on only a few standout moments. In his opinion, The real story was found between those exchanges. In the footwork, patience, split-second choices, and the confidence to rely on instinct when preparation alone could no longer provide every solution. Whether a fan enjoys speed, pressure, counterpunching, or technical mastery, this matchup delivered something memorable for every true boxing enthusiast. That's why he believes people will still be talking about this fight long after the arena had emptied.
The second round, I seen that the guy was in the high guard, and Boots shots come like 100 miles per hour. So with that speed, with that power, it was going to be hard for him to stand tall the entire time.
Greg Hackett offered a completely different perspective on the fight. After listening to Shakur analyze the matchup from a technical standpoint, Greg shifted the conversation toward the unpredictable reality of championship boxing. He almost laughed at those who had spent weeks claiming they already knew exactly how the fight would unfold. His point was straightforward. Boxing has a unique way of proving wrong anyone who believes the outcome is certain. Greg felt that this is where true championship boxing reveals itself. I actually appreciated that viewpoint because it came across as honest and authentic. Rather than getting caught up in statistics or scorecards, he emphasized the importance of surviving difficult moments, identifying patterns as they develop, and making the right decisions before there is even enough time to fully understand what's happening.
Say a little bit of a roller coaster, a successful roller coaster, but a little bit up and down because every time Bruce fight, we looking for the wow, like we looking for that every time Bruce fight. So for me, I knew the energy was gonna be up because this meant a lot to both fighters. Don't adjust. This guy really just want to get you. He want to beat you up. And that's his best attribute, is his determination. I seen him take some shots against Mastre, but deliver some shots. And what kept him confident with Mastre is the fact that he knew Mastre would be right there in front of me. So when I did my calculations, I said, Boots ain't gonna sit there.
In the end, this fight lived up to everything the fans had anticipated. For weeks, the discussion centered around speed versus discipline, power versus technique, and youth versus experience. But once the opening bell rang, those simple comparisons were no longer enough to capture everything taking place inside the ring. Both fighters answered major questions while raising entirely new ones along the way. That is what elevates a solid championship bout into one that fans will remember for years to come. This night was never about protecting unbeaten records or avoiding the toughest challenges. Regardless of the official result, which fighter's performance impressed you the most? Let me know your thoughts in the comments because this is the kind of matchup that will keep boxing fans debating for a long time. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Ringwise. I'll see you in the next one.